Hey there, everybody. Well, I know my last video said that my next project was going to be working on that multi-tool, and while I am planning on starting to work on that, I haven't had the time to actually sit down and do that, but I have had some time for some quick projects of opportunity. I'll start with this one right here. I've been wanting to get into doing some knapping for quite some time. I've looked into it, read about it, watched people do it, had demonstrations done, but I've never actually sat down and done anything with it. Well, the other day I was underneath a crawl space and I found this beautiful piece of green glass. It was the bottom from a bottle. It was just the bottom. I didn't even have to break it out. It was just perfectly clean, broken off bottle bottom. I also found some aluminum nails, some very large aluminum nails, which I don't have here with me, but it's a giant nail. It's pretty easy to picture. Well, what I did is I used that and I knapped out my first ever arrowhead. Now, it's not quite perfect. I'm working on my long flakes. If you look closely, you can see that the flat surface is still flat. I didn't have any flakes that went all the way across it. You can actually, if you get the light just right, you can kind of see the bottom of the bottle right there. You can see the curvature. This part right here was part of the center of the bottle. There was a kind of a ridge there. I haven't quite worked that off yet, but I got it to this point. It is rather sharp. It is functional. Not quite perfect, but for my first attempt, I'm pretty happy with it. So there's that. Next thing I made is also, once again, in a crawl space. Most of my projects start in a crawl space. If you ever catch that that theme going through all of my projects, I found some bronze welding rod. And the other day I took a break out at a baseball field and broke out my old one-brick forge and my anvil from it's actually a railroad car coupling, and I forged this blanket pin using the procedure, and got basically the idea from a video that Dave Canterbury did a while back on making a blanket pin out in the woods. The only difference was, instead of a stick to wrap it around, I used a piece of black iron pipe, which I found in a crawl space. So, forged that out, forged the pin. I've tried it out a couple of times. Works really well. Just, simple, basic, easy project. I had fun doing it, and I needed one, so now I don't have to buy one, which I'm all about not having to buy anything. This thing was 100% free. I didn't buy anything that I used to make it. I didn't even buy the forge or the anvil or even the hammer for that matter. It's all stuff that I've found or been given, so fantastic. Lastly, we have the tomahawk and the tomahawk cover again. Well, this would be actually the third tomahawk cover I've shown up on YouTube. The first one was very functional, but it didn't have a snap on it. The second one was great. It was beautiful. It worked great. Unfortunately, it was not idiot-proof. I'm in the National Guard, and on a training exercise over the summer, I loaned my tomahawk to somebody. That was a mistake, which I will not be repeating. And when it came back to me, the front part of my sheath right here was cut through. Apparently, some genius of epic proportion had decided that chopping with a tomahawk could be done without taking the cover off. Obviously, that did not do good things for my tomahawk cover, and I was left without a tomahawk cover once again. So, this has been a little bit more of a time-consuming project than these other two, but it was something that I needed to do more quickly than I needed to modify my multi-tool. So, I'll just pop this off right here, pull this off, and give y'all a look at it. Basically, it works just like my last one, but I've done a couple of things differently. Put my baby off to the side here. First off, this is not the same soft oak tan leather that I used before. This is rawhide. You can hear it's nice and hard, very tough. I laced across the front of this with rawhide lacing. That all of this rawhide, it came from a rawhide dog chew bone. Soaked it, rolled it out, flattened it, took a piece and spiral cut it to make the lacing. So that's where this rawhide came from. Then I just folded it over the tomahawk, let it dry, and now it's hard as crap. So I'm hoping that it will hold up better than my other one. It will also hold up better than my other one because I'm not going to let that person use it again, or anybody else other than a select few people that I trust to return my equipment to me in the condition that it was when I left it. Well, I had this, and it was kind of a plain white, and I decided I wanted to decorate it. And I started off with this across the top, just a basic, you know, I think I got the pattern from a book on mountain man crafts, and it was a beadwork pattern. I thought, that looks pretty cool. I'll draw that across the top. So I did. I drew it on there with a Sharpie. It's like, that looks pretty cool. Well, I want to do some more stuff. So I added this little guy, which until recently was the symbol for the Pathfinder School with Dave Canterbury. So put that one on there for that, because I am a student of the Pathfinder School, and I have been for a while now. And on the other side, little fire genie, which is the symbol for Dirt Time. I'm also a member at the Dirt Time forums. I've got a lot of friends over there. Really enjoy hanging out with them, and just a lot of good information and a lot of fun we've got to have over there. So got those two symbols for my two main wilderness associations. And then on the strap, I just took a wood burner. Would burn a little arrow on there just because the strap looked kind of boring without anything on it. So nothing really special. Basically the same exact layout as my last one. The only real improvement is A, the use of rawhide as the material, and B, on the strap itself on the end, I noticed after I used it for a while that the leather on the tab on the end, when I kept pressing it over and over again, it got really soft and it got to be harder to unsnap. So I put piece of rawhide to use as a thumb brake. Basically just like a holster you would have for a pistol has a thumb brake on it. It's the same basic principle. Makes it a lot faster to release, a lot easier to release, and it'll be a lot more durable. So those are my three projects. Got some other stuff I'm working on right now. Like I said, still working on the multi-tool. Got a bunch of other stuff going through. Had somebody request on my channel that I do a video where for making my bows that I've made. I'm finishing up my third bow right now, so I'm not going to make a video about it because I'm just about done with it. But as soon as I finish that one, I'm going to start working on another one for myself. I'm trying to make a heavier 60-pound draw weight bow for hunting for this upcoming bow hunting season. So that'll be my next project, and I'll try to get some video as I make that to kind of let y'all know how that goes. And so yeah. Anyway, appreciate all y'all watching my videos, your comments, and your views. And everybody out there, have a great day.